I have to ask all of you, who has done a cross-country road trip or moved by yourself? I am going to be getting a U-Haul with my sweet fur child, Isabellamichellelanter, okay? And I'm gonna pack up all my shit and I'm going to move all the way from Kansas City to Los Angeles all by myself. What are some tips and tricks you recommend for a single woman doing this all by herself? Because I am very excited, a little bit nervous. I'm sure it'll be fine. But if you guys have any recommendations, let me know. But speaking of long journeys, today's video, oh my God. Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a big one. So I know you guys, if you've been here for a hot second, you have witnessed me actually react to wedding dress scams before, which is so funny because I wouldn't expect that to, well, okay, anything could become a scam, but I wouldn't expect that to happen so often. Come to find out, apparently that's a little bit more frequent in the wedding industry. Are scams and unethical things happening that are messy, that are screwing over brides, that make you turn into bridezilla to full-on Godzilla. Today we're talking about a creator that decided to air out her awful experience of a wedding dress, okay? Now I had so many of you all submit this to me and I was like, damn, I have to talk about it. And I'm very excited. So before we hop in, grab a snack, buckle up, get a drink, y'all, get ready, drink some water if you haven't today. Some of y'all have maybe been sipping a little bit too long on a Celsius, an Alani, a coffee, a Diet Coke, and you haven't had enough water. So go do that for me real quick, okay? Forehead kiss, love you, okay? Anyways, now, before we hop in, I do wanna take a moment to talk about the sponsor of today's video. You guys know I'm very adamant about telling you all to speak to professionals, and that's why I'm partnering up with MIDI Health today because I think this is a very, very important platform that more people need to know more about. MIDI Health is a virtual care clinic founded by women who remember the exact feeling of not being heard. Midlife care is not a one-size-fits-all situation, and the founders of MIDI Life know exactly what that feels like. Their clinicians specialize in a wide range of women's health, including perimenopause and then menopause, longevity, weight management, and more. They are here to listen and help you understand the root cause of your symptoms and offer you solutions so that way you can feel relief as soon as possible. I know I've talked about my own hormones and I've even talked to my mom about changes when it comes to growing up, and hormone fluctuations can really change absolutely everything. They can trigger dozens of symptoms like hot flashes, moodiness, insomnia, and so much more. And those symptoms are going to be exhausting for anybody. But the good news is MIDI has got you covered. MIDI's clinicians can order lab tests, advanced screenings for your brain and body, blood work, and they can also prescribe different medications. This is a really, really great way of having access to the care you need with more convenience. And I'm sure you're wondering about the price. MIDI bills insurance just like any other providers. They have a wide variety of insurances that they take, so you are gonna be able to have the exact same coverage just like going into an appointment. So if you guys are interested, go with the link in the description below or pin comment to schedule a virtual visit and join more than over 200,000 women who love and trust MIDI with their care. Thank you so much to MIDI Health for partnering on today's video and help spreading awareness and giving great care. And now let's get into it. All right, y'all ready for this? We are talking about a creator by the name of Alexander, and she decided to post up a video discussing her wedding dress experience from hell. Now, I know the last thing we want to deal with when it comes to picking out a glorious dress for a special event is someone making it hellish, okay? So let's react and let's kick this whole story off.
Now that the experience is pretty much behind me, I want to talk about my wedding dress from hell. I'm going to try to get through this without getting like too angry and freaking out. But basically I got a custom made wedding dress, I suppose. Last year in like September, October 2025, I started interviewing designers to go custom for my wedding dress because I wasn't really finding what I was looking for, and I knew I wanted something super simple. And I wanted the experience of going custom. I did the math of how much it would cost for me to make or to buy a new dress and also pay for alterations. And I basically kind of like combined that. And I was like, well, if I pad my budget a little bit, I could go custom, and then there are no alterations, it's custom. So in my mind, I was like, this is a worthy investment, even though it's very expensive. I meet with like maybe 4 designers. I ended up going with this designer based here in New York who we are going to call Kim. Okay. And she really understood my vision. She like really got me right away. The first thing that we did was a Zoom call, which cost me $120, where I showed her my inspo and she drew me a sketch.
All right, I'm gonna need everyone who's been involved in the wedding industry to lock the hell in and get in my comment section. Is that normal for a consultation to pay that? Is that normal? Because again, I don't wanna be the type of person that just shit talks something just because. If somebody is actually charging for a consultation like that, is that normal and like okay? Because if so, then like yeah, then industry standard, that makes sense. If not, then that would be a bit of a red flag. But again, I don't know, so I can't exactly call that a red flag because that I'm not well versed in. So let me know. Now I will say when it comes to hiring a like designer for something custom, interviewing is really, really important. I don't know if any of you guys know about this. Doing that is really, really good to kind of like do your best to protect yourself. But again, as we know, literally anyone can get get screwed over in any industry, regardless of how much you do. You can literally read through a lease, for example, and then find out something and then get screwed over. So unfortunately, you can do your best in due diligence, but that doesn't automatically mean you're 100% protected, which really sucks. But that's why we talk about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you're not just dumb because you get taken advantage of. You're a human being and some people are just screwery.
So this was like the inspo that I provided her. This is a picture of me. And the reason I included this picture was because of the way it fit. I was like, this is the shape of the bodice that I'm after, you know, a little drop waist, super, super fitted. And then these ones I included as like general inspo of like kind of like a romantic shape. This is the sketch that she made me. In theory, like it has everything that I asked for. I remember thinking that like there could be more volume in the skirt at the top, but there was a little bit of pushback from her and my mom was there. They were both kind of like, let's start here. I think neither of them, maybe they didn't like my vision. I don't know, but this was the sketch. The next step was to go in for my prototype fitting. This was in November 2025. And the prototype is essentially a rough draft of the dress. And this is what mine looked like. I was happy with this. It fits me like a glove. I definitely had some edits. As you can see, there's like black Sharpie drawn on the bodice. That's because the princess seams, which are the seams that go like straight down the front right here, were really wide and straight. And I wanted them to be closer together and curved to give me a bit more of a shape. Also, this is like not a drop waist and I wanted it to be dropped a bit. But other than that, like this fit me so well. This was the back. You can see there's like a blue line where it was giving me like crazy back fat. And I was like, let's lower that a little bit to get rid of that. And we were playing with like some lace, some bows. So that was in November. I don't go back until March and you're not ready to see this. Okay, this is the first time I see my dress in the fabric, meaning that was a prototype. This is it made in the fabric. This is what I see when I walk in.
Literally to the no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so where do I begin? First things first, there were no red flags up until now. Genuinely, I don't think there was anything that would be outlandishly, oh girl, run away. Especially if you see their work, you've already been in and fitted a prototype and you're like, this is fitting really nicely. That's great. Now, if there's a fabric issue where maybe a client doesn't understand how a fabric is supposed to lay, and maybe it's gonna lay in a way that doesn't fit her, doesn't vibe, that probably could have been disclosed previously. So that could also be a thing, but wow, like this just doesn't fit her nicely. And yeah, there's no volume in the dress. It's just ill-fitted. Like I've bought House of CB dresses that fit me 10 times better than this shit.
Literally diabolical. The waist is like, it doesn't fit me at all. Like this doesn't fit me at all. I'm floating in this dress. It's asymmetrical. One of the boobs is higher than the other. The princess seams have not been adjusted. They're wide. They're a weird shape. There's a weird like bunching happening right down the center of the dress. I'm clipped in. I was not clipped into the prototype. I'm clipped in the front. I'm also clipped in the back. I'll show you. The skirt is like deflated and like this seam across the waist looks so bunchy and weird. This is the back of the dress. I'm completely clipped into it. Like I was not clipped into the prototype. So I don't know what happened here. But I left this appointment freaking out. After that appointment, I sent my first kind of like firm email where it's just kind of like, I'm a little concerned. I'm not seeing a ton of progress. The notes that I gave in November aren't in the dress. Again, princess seams are not adjusted. It has not been a dropped waist. And like, where did the volume go in the skirt? I was like, what's happening here? And
yeah, why was the prototype 10 times better? That would have scared the shit out of me because it feels like there was steps back instead of progress forward. And also I just have to say, when it comes to stuff like this, I feel like she's doing a great job of adamantly saying, hey, I'm concerned, and already throwing out those feelers. And this is kind of also why I love talking about these videos and like this kind of content, is because I like to tell people that it's good to speak up for yourself. Like for example, when I was working on my lease for Los Angeles, there were two things that I noticed in the lease that I was not a fan of. There was one, and it did not mention the deposit I was paying. It said that there was no deposit. I was like, bullshit, there's a $600 deposit there. And two, it mentioned that they had like irrevocable rights to using like my name, likeness, and everything on their promotional stuff. And I was like, hey, so that's gotta go, because I don't want people to just find out where I live. And I immediately was like, hey girl, just let you know, like I didn't say that. I said her name. I was professional, but I was like, hey, two things. If those get removed, I can send it immediately. So advocate for yourself. And this is a great example of it. There's nothing wrong with, especially if you are paying for something, ask, be assertive. And also don't feel like you have to tiptoe around like, I think, no. You know, you don't like this. It's okay. You're a paying customer. And I think any professional that cares about the happiness of their clients is going to very readily and quickly acknowledge that and go, absolutely, what can we do? Let's figure this out. And if not, then that's not the person that you want to be with. So I just want to, especially for my fellow people pleasers out there, okay? And my people who are a little nervous to piss somebody off, you're a paying customer. You have every right to vocalize and say something.
They respond, Kim responds, really nice. Don't worry. It takes a little bit of imagination. We're not there yet. And then I say, can we move my next fitting up? Because there's only supposed to be 3 fittings between the sketch and picking up the dress, and this is fitting number 2. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna need more than 3 because there's a lot left to do. So we move my fitting up from March to, that one's at March, the next one's at May, which is this one. So I go in May and my dress looks like this, dress number 3. This is a third dress. They don't even resemble each other. This is completely different, still does not fit me.
What in the fuck is going on here? Is she good? And by she, I mean the designer. The whole top doesn't even look right. It looks, how did it get worse? How was the prototype 10 times better? I'm genuinely, like my brain is literally shutting down. That's not a drop waist. The boning looks like straight dog shit. What's going on upstairs with the sleeves? I am a woman of many words and I'm struggling to come up with a proper sentence to describe how bad this is.
It does not fit me at all. And in this appointment, when I was there, I said, you can take this in a little bit. Like the waist could be tighter. Like, look how much bunching there is. Like, it's not fitted against my body. And they literally told me no. They were like, no. Like, no, we can't really bring it in anymore. And I'm like, but you can, because it doesn't fit. Whatever. They also added cups to the boobs that are giving me like fish eyes. The waist, like the shape of that seam, we've completely lost it. And it's just kind of like sagging there. Let me zoom in. Okay, so maybe you can kind of see what I mean, but like this.
I would have ugly cried right there. Oh my. Boobage going on here reminds me of when I got like a really bad strapless bra, and that was like the first time I ever wore it. I thought it was a good idea to wear it under a like long sleeve, very thin shirt. I looked wonky as hell. This is like years ago when I was in like high school. Bad choice. Didn't work out well for me in the end. This is awful. This does not look like a custom dress. This looks like some bullshit. It looks like if I made a first attempt. Actually, I would. I'm not gonna give myself that much support here. It probably would look 10 times worse.
Right here, it has like this weird bunching, and it's still not a drop waist. It's just like this weird seam, like barely holding it together. The cups are crazy. You can completely see them through the dress, and still look at how wide and straight the princess seams are. Like, they have not been adjusted. The waist has not been dropped. The princess seams have not been adjusted. So at this point, I'm freaking out. This is May. My wedding is in August. Okay. I'm like, the dress is not gonna get done by these people, because the notes that I gave them in November that I've now reiterated and I've like raised the flags, they're like still not taking place. And again, this has been an expensive experience. Like, this is not like a cheap dress. Like, I've invested thousands of dollars into this dress. At this point, I've made 3 of my 4 payments. Okay. There's only 4 payments. I've made 3 of them. They have all my money. Okay. I'm so concerned and unhappy about the dress that I actually reach out to Kim and I say, I would like to move up. I would like to add another fitting. And I'm still not seeing these things, and I need you to execute these things, or I need you to tell me that you can't, so that I can go elsewhere. Kim responds, she's like, don't worry, it's all gonna be fine. Let's add another fitting and we can have an honest conversation about the progress, like if you're not happy. I go, thank you. Then I start researching a little bit, and it dawns on me that if I need to buy another dress, I have to do it like that day because I only have so many weeks until my wedding, and shipping, all of these things. Like, I was kind of like, I have to make a game time decision.
When it comes to custom wedding dresses, this can be incredibly terrifying to do, because if something is just going south, and we've seen this on my channel a couple times, when it goes to shit and you're like, oh my God, wait, I've been wasting all these months custom designing a dress. Wedding dresses take a while, if you're buying from like a regular store, to get fitted and done and good to you in order to be on time. So that is also a scary factor of, oh, if this goes south and they screw me over, then shit, I have to buy something quickly off the rack. Or, it's not what you dream. And many people, like, this is a very big deal for them when it comes to their dress, that you want to look beautiful on your wedding day. You want this to be it, right? This is a massive, massive moment for you. And the fact that it's getting screwed over and you're having to freak out as a type A woman, whoa, I genuinely, you'd have to get the horse tranquilizer out. I would not be able to calm down. Like, you would genuinely have to put me down.
So I call my inner circle, and everyone is in agreement that this dress will not get where I want it to get in the next like 6 weeks until my wedding. So, or however many weeks. So I email Kim and I say, thank you so much for all of your hard work. I've really appreciated you and your team being so dedicated to my dress, but I think I need to end our relationship here because I'm not seeing the progress I need to see. And this close to my wedding, like, I can't, like, I only have so many options, but like, thank you for all your hard work from here. Can we please arrange a partial refund? I wasn't sure what she would say to that. You know what I mean? Part of me was kind of like, a part of me was like, she's gonna say no. Like she's like, of course she's gonna like keep the money and run. We have no contract. But the other part of me was kind of like, well, if she cares about like her reputation and she knows that I'm leaving like unhappy, like I'm asking for a partial refund, not a full refund. And I'm also not asking for a finished dress because the dress is unfinished and I'm telling her that they can stop working on it. So I thought that a partial refund would be fair. She responds to me and she just says no. She's like, no, the dress, you need to come in for another fitting and your payment's due. That's like literally what she says. So I get some advice from different people and I basically was like, okay, if you are like refusing to end this partnership with me, which by the way, why not? Like, why do you want to work with me if I don't want to work with you? Like, it doesn't make any sense. No integrity, no artistic integrity, no like business integrity of like her reputation. She's not interested in making me happy, nothing. So I was kind of like, okay, well, like here's all of the things that I need to see in my fitting. And if these things are not present, our agreement is null, but I'll come in. So I went in. Okay, these photos are from June. Reminder, wedding is the 1st of August. This is June.
That's enough. I'm leaving, guys. Bye. Are we serious right now? You have got to be ass backwards right now. That's logically speaking, there's no way you can look at this work and think it's good. There's no way that you can look at this and think, yes, this is thousands of dollars worth of work. What the hell's going on upstairs with the whoa, I'm having a stroke. The skirt's not poofy. The top it's literally not even sewn right. If they keep screwing you, and if they are actively disregarding the fact that you're severely unhappy, and this is like blatantly, obviously bad work. Capital One, Chase, American Express, Discover. Hi, hello. Someone is bullshitting right now and I need a charge back. Wasting thousands of dollars on, in my opinion, incredibly cheap looking fabric. I'll just say that. Awful looking seams right here. It doesn't even look right. I would understand slightly more if there was more intricate designs and like beading was a little bit off, right? Again, horse tranquilizer. That is exactly what I would need after.
Dress number 4. Like, what is this? This dress looks completely different from the other dresses, okay? I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, I am still completely pinned into this dress. Do you see all of those pins? Yeah, it doesn't.
Literally, I would be hysterically laughing to the point of tears. That looks such ass. That looks like so... I genuinely wouldn't even know where to mentally go from there. I would be so unbelievably livid. You guys, this is exactly why I'm happy when people are confident enough to share shit like this online. Because this is awful. Imagine somebody who was too scared to talk about this was screwed over and was just embarrassed and wasted thousands of dollars and never told. Like, we need to have more experiences like shared because we need to hold people like this accountable. You have a lot of nerve to charge thousands of dollars for such ass. Again, maybe it is true. Maybe I could make something better because what the hell?
Fit me. The nipples are in 2 different places. The boobs are like this. She did fix the princess seams, but they're wide on the boob and then they go in, which is so
wonky nips. Literally, you're like, by the way, pay thousands of dollars, have some wonky nips on yourself.
Weird. The top of the dress is so high up. It's like cutting into my arms, which the last one was not doing. And the waist, although it fits me better, like at least it's more fitted. Look at all the wrinkling and bunching. Again, still pinned in, all the wrinkling and bunching. This has not been dropped. This has been in the same place the whole entire time. This is what the back of it looks like. Again, we are like a month and some change out from my wedding. And I'm covered in pen and I'm clipped into this dress, including the pins in the front. I'm completely clipped into this dress.
I have to say, I really think this is one of the worst wedding dress scams I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think I've ever seen, like, honestly, I've reacted to a few. This is bad. My flabbers have been gassed. Damn.
Okay, wedding dress from hell, part 2. A reminder of where we left off. We are less than 2 months away from my wedding, and this is what my very expensive custom gown looks like. Yeah. So at the end of this appointment, she pulls me into this room, and Kim pulls me into this room that I've never been in before. And I said to her, like, oh, is this new? Because I'd never seen it before. And she was like, no. It's like, okay. She sits down behind this desk with this comically big, like, Mac screen. It's massive. She's like peeking over it like this to make eye contact with me. And she goes, it's just a matter of your payment. Keep in mind. Okay, keep in mind, this dress was only supposed to be covered in 4 payments. I've made 3 of them. And I've had to have extra fittings because this dress is terrible. Like, I'm just gonna say it. This dress looks like it's worth $900 on ASOS. Like, this is a cheap ass Shein looking dress.
I would not pay an unflavored Dorito chip for this shit. I wouldn't wipe my ass with it, personally. That's just me. Because what the hell? There'd probably be some thread put in the wrong place that would pull one of my ass hairs out or something like that. Exactly why I wouldn't. This is a mess. And the fact that she's able to be like, payment, you can suck on my never mind, I won't say that.
That I have sunk thousands of dollars into, okay? So, and I know that she was trying to intimidate me, but you can't intimidate me that easily. And so I was just like, well, I'll pay when I approve of the dress.
Mind you, they already have money out of her. At this point, they need to be gracious that she was even nice to come in and have a conversation with them. Cut your losses. But the fact that you're that greedy to be like, hey, so we're going to provide you shit on a plate for dinner, pay up.
And she was like, okay, so you'll come back next week and you'll pay then? And I said, I'll pay when I approve of the dress. Like, I'll pay like at final pickup approval. She goes, okay, thank you for coming, and like ushers me out. That really pissed me off because, again, she just has like a complete lack of integrity. And like, you guys, this girl works with like all of the New York City influencer girlies. Like, you've seen her on Instagram. Like, I was shocked that she really did not care about just like treating me really poorly. And like, was she gonna let me walk down the aisle in that dress and be like, yeah, Kim made this, and she was gonna be happy about that? Like, we have different ideas of like what a good dress is if she was going to be proud of that dress and proud of that construction. Anyway, so she follows up with me after that appointment and she's like, hey, so your dress is ready for pickup. Like 4 days later, she's like, your dress is ready for pickup and you have a payment due. And I go, okay, well, I have some questions. I was like, why is it that my dress is suddenly ready for pickup when things I've been asking for since November, they hadn't taken place in March, they hadn't taken place in May, they hadn't taken place in June, and now you're telling me that between the beginning of June and the end of June, suddenly my dress is ready for pickup. Like, what changed in that time? She sends me this chat GBT ass response, just like GPT, whatever, basically telling me like, well, pretty much all of the construction is done. And I'm like, but it isn't done because I've had the same notes since the end of last year. Like, what do you mean? It's not done. So I repeat myself. I go, sorry, let me clarify. Like, I'm interested in understanding what's changed because I trusted you for all of these months and I even ended our relationship and you pushed back the whole time. And now all of a sudden you're telling me that the dress is ready for pickup. What changed? She copy and pastes her last email and sends it to me again.
Oh my God. As an Aries, sun and moon, Sagittarius rising, I think you get the vibe. My patience would be thinner than the flimsy ass thread that she used on my damn dress that I wasn't going to use as a dress. At that point, I'd be like, that's so funny. You know what? I could be funnier. Copy and paste my exact email back to her. Be like, we can do this all day. Matter of fact, you know what? We can get started? Small claims court, which is exactly my point that I want to bring up. When stuff like this happens, don't be scared to go to small claims court. Don't be scared to bring this up. Don't be scared to put a public review. Don't be scared to air this shit out. This is genuinely crazy. At least with some other scams I've seen, people have come out and go, hey, I've like issued a refund. I'm addressing this. I'm so sorry. Like, at least they backtrack fast. The fact that she kept pushing to not end the relationship, she kept trying to go, bets are off the table, baby. Air it out. Absolutely not. That shows such a lack of remorse.
She just sends me the same thing. So at this point, I'm like, I can't wear this dress. Like, not only is it like a really ugly dress that was really poorly made and just looks like a cheap like school project. I also like, this girl has like the worst energy. She's got the worst energy. And I'm like, well, I don't want that on my wedding day. I don't want your like tainted vibes on my wedding day. Like, I don't need that. So I do have a different dress, and that dress is a whole other story, and it's amazing, and I'm very excited to wear it. And so I sent her an email literally like a week ago, because she kept asking me to come in and not answering my questions. So I sent her an email like a week ago being like, hey Kim, I had to go in another direction, like, wish you the best. So that was my second time breaking up with her, and I know I will never hear from her again. I will not hear from her again. She's going to keep my money. She's not going to apologize. She's not going to say, like, I'm sorry that you didn't have the experience that we take pride in brides having with us. Like, she has no integrity. And I mean, I'm not gonna like say her name on here. Her name,
You know what you could do, Alexander? Say their name. You are entitled to say their name, by the way. Say it. Who gives a shit? They started it. Tell them. I'm sorry. I am very, very pro. After a certain point, you don't have to be super cautious and nice about it. It's not illegal to go and say, hey, by the way, this business sucks really bad. Okay. Be careful, be wary. That is absolutely worth talking about. So I'm just saying that while she didn't have to, you absolutely could/should, because people need to know about this kind of stuff.
Or the background in all of those photos. Like, I'm not trying to blow her up, but best believe I am telling everyone I know in the industry, like all of my friends who work in fashion, all of my friends who work in fashion PR, all of my friends who work in media, the only thing you can do in New York City is like word of mouth. And like, I am not being shy about this experience because I literally feel like she scammed me. I feel like she never made my account a priority. And in addition to being incredibly rude to me, she never put the proper amount of time and effort into a garment that I paid for. And so I know she's gonna keep my money. She must really need it. Okay. And I know I'll never hear from her again. And it's like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Okay, so I'm going to pause that right here. And now the comments, say, as an ex-employee, I am not surprised. Somebody said, babe, $900 on ASOS is so generous, which, yeah, exactly. Again, House of CB. There are so many other places that give really affordable dresses, wedding dresses that are stunning for that price, if not cheaper. Another one says, small claims court, please don't let her get away with this, which I absolutely agree. I think this would be a very, very easy win. I know I'm not a legal professional and I don't know shit about shit, but I think this would be incredibly easy. This is absolutely insane. Also, immediately I thought though with this, was there a contract? That's another thing I want to point out is whenever you go into business, you need to sit down and make things so that way you can protect yourself, because things like this need to have some kind of standing of you guys mutually agreed, signed on the dotted line, and are going to have some kind of like something in conclusion at the end, whether it's you get the dress or something else happens, right? So somebody actually made that comment and she responded to tell us more about this contract or no contract.
I forgot a detail. And this is reminding me. In the last appointment where she pulled me into the room and was like, you need to pay, that day, that night, she sent me a DocuSign with all of the notes on it from that day's fitting. Granted. After my first fitting in fabric, which was like pretty insane, I said, moving forward, I want to receive all of the notes after each fitting so I can make sure that we're like tracking with like the same goals in mind. She never did that. It was always me following up being like, this is everything that I'm recapping our fitting. This is everything that needs to take place before the next appointment. Like, I was the one who ended up doing all of that. And then after that fitting where she pulls me in a room and asks me to pay, she sends me a DocuSign. And I'm like, no. You think you're going to send me some sort of legal document? You're going to get me to like sign something? You should have given me a contract from the jump. That's your bad that you didn't. That's on you. Okay. I'm not doing that now. So I literally responded and I was like, I'm not going to move forward with that.
First things first I have to say is this is a big lesson is always get a contract, okay? Always get something put together. And if you got to go back and forth and say, hey, I want this adjusted before we sign, you'd rather be cautious than not, okay? Contracts should be regular and consistent and mutually beneficial and protecting of both parties. End of story. So this is the one critique that I would give to this person. And again, sometimes you don't know that, but always get a contract, especially for big financial investments like this of thousands of dollars, lock that in. Actually, funny enough, this reminds me, there was an agency I interviewed a long time ago, and they had a full meeting with me, and they're like, oh, damn, we forgot to send you an NDA. And then they sent me an NDA after, and I was like, and mind you, they said some things that I was like, nah, I'm not signing with you. And they sent me an NDA after. I'm like, you think I'm gonna sign that shit now? Dumbass, send it to me before. So I didn't sign it because I was like, why would I do that? That's stupid. And then immediately I was like, and this is exactly why I would never want to work with you. If you're not capable of making sure your documentation is thorough before getting into a meeting with me like that, then why the hell would I want to work with you? So now, after millions of views, Undone by Kate, which is the brand, which is incredibly fitting. Well, not fitting, obviously, the dress didn't fit for shit. Sorry. But Undone by Kate, which is the name of the business, Kate decided to respond. Y'all want to see? Let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Kate, and I'm the founder and designer of Undone by Kate. You've probably seen a video circulating online about an unfinished wedding dress that was created here in my studio, and I'm here to provide some additional context and clarity on the situation. First and foremost, I think it's extremely important to understand that this bride has been issued a refund. On July 14th, I reached out to her directly and offered her a full refund. I sent her this email, and she graciously accepted and said, thank you for the resolution. At that point, I thought this would be handled, and human to human, the record would be set straight. But unfortunately, that's not what happened online. And any comment proving that she was refunded was quickly deleted, further fueling the fire of this narrative that's currently online. It's also very important to note what goes into the custom dressmaking process. When we start, we have a consultation, and I learn everything about the things you like and the things you didn't like dress shopping. I will never copy an exact dress, but I will take everything that you told me and put it into a sketch for you.
This is the email that was sent, and it says July 14th. We recently came across your video, wanted to so this was after the video. You weren't intending on giving a refund at all until she verbally dog walked your ass in 50 different ways on TikTok, and then you went, fuck, maybe that looks bad for business, guys. Maybe the Yelp reviews are gonna get shit. Maybe I'm gonna get harassed online, and the Google reviews are gonna go, sucks, wouldn't recommend. I want redemption, and I want people to take accountability, but it is ironic that she was in front of you consistently saying, hey, I don't like this, and bringing up many examples of why she wasn't happy. And then finally, after her video pops off, you go, oh, my bad. And also, if it was a bigger influencer that you were partnering with, would this have ever happened? Because that's insane. Why does it take a viral video for you to give a fuck? That's the problem. It says, we are truly sorry to hear that this was your experience and that this is how you feel about your time with us. While we respect your right to share your perspective, it was incredibly difficult to hear our integrity questioned. As a small business, every gown we create represents months of work from a dedicated team of people who genuinely care about our brides and the work they do. If that was true, you would have flat out told her you were not capable of making this project. As a business owner, you have to sit back and go, hey, I am not capable of giving you what you want. So to make sure that you don't get screwed, and nor do I, we have to bow out. So if you knew damn well that that design wasn't going to work out, because I'm sorry, Miss Undone by Kate, would you walk down the aisle looking like that? A mess? No, absolutely not. I know damn well you would not. I mean, well, I highly doubt this woman would actually have been okay with that, nor would she have been willing to put an influencer with multiple millions of followers down the aisle looking like that. So in my perspective, again, this is just my speculation and opinion, why did you willingly take this project on, and why are you shocked right now? Their livelihoods depend on the reputation we've spent years building, so seeing our business discussed publicly in this way has been deeply upsetting for everyone involved. While we may remember certain aspects of the experience differently, we never want you to feel unheard. With that in mind, we've gone ahead and processed a full refund, which you should receive within the next 7 to 10 business days. Your completed gown looks beautiful, and we truly wish you had the opportunity to see it in its finished state. We sincerely wish you nothing but happiness in your marriage and in this next chapter of your life. We only ask that you keep in mind that very real impact that public statements can have on small businesses and the people whose careers and families depend on it. And Kate, you should also consider the fact that your choices of the way that you handle your business decisions also impact your employees. Don't put that shit on Alexander when it wasn't her fault to begin with. You still assume responsibility of the people that you hire and everything around you to an extent. So trying to put that on her because she's saying, hey, honestly, I'm not happy with this, that's insane.
Then we go through the sketches together and we talk about iterations, things you don't like about the sketch and things you maybe do. We ultimately decided on this sketch, which is the blueprint and what we reference to get to the final gown. And this is the final gown that was created. Your first step is usually a prototype fitting, and the prototype fitting is a draft of your dress made to feel the silhouette on your body. And we make adjustments, we can change things in that fitting, and we have an open conversation about what you're liking and not liking. When you get into your first fitting in your fabric, by all means, your dress is nowhere near complete. It's very different than when you go dress shopping at a typical bridal shop and you try on your gown for the first time complete and you make alterations. We're actually molding a dress onto your body, and things can change. Measurements can change, design aspects can change, and that's what's so great about the custom process is that we're here to adapt, trial and error, and move through it together. Sometimes no two dresses are created the same, and it's not as black and white. Sometimes you can have 3-4 fittings in your final fabric, and sometimes you can have 2. I want it to be extremely clear that I would never let a bride walk out of my studio, let alone down the aisle, in the state of the photos that you saw that gown in. In this case, we had a final fitting on the books, and the final fitting is where you get to see your final dress come to life.
I would understand this explanation of the process, but it doesn't change the fact that the dress got significantly worse as time went on. And even the final dress that she just showed, the lower drop waist seam doesn't look right even from a distance. So again, I'm a little confused on how this is a good explanation. Now, I do want to say that I think it is very fair for Alexandra to go and say, hey, they did finally refund me. Thank you guys for all the support. I think that's absolutely great. But that still doesn't change the fact that the actions behind closed doors were totally appropriate for Kate until it was aired out. And then all of a sudden they want to jump to fix it. And the thing that I don't recommend is giving a bunch of excuses.
Unfortunately, this bride rescheduled her final fitting less than 24 hours in advance, and despite multiple follow-up attempts, she ultimately let us know she was moving in a different direction. I have done everything I can to make it right. I have issued her a full refund, I've apologized, and I've absorbed all the costs, time, labor, and materials of that beautiful dress. I really wish that that full context could have been shared here before I had to make this video. But unfortunately, now I'm receiving death threats and negative reviews from people who have never stepped foot in my studio. I'm so sorry that the process shook out the way it did for her, and I wish that we could have gotten to that final fitting. To wrap it up, I know that concerns were raised during this process, and I saw them too. We documented them and continue to work through them. But custom bridal is absolutely a journey, and I will continue to put as much love and care in every single dress that I continue to create here on. Thank you so much for listening.
There was a video of her dress posted up, which is crazy. Like, why would you post up a dress that somebody was clearly pissed off about? And this is the video. POV, you walk into your final fitting, and it looks pretty decent right now, but regardless, if it wasn't what she originally wanted, it wasn't what she originally wanted. Like, I'm incredibly confused about this. With all that being said, Alexander decided to come up with another follow-up video because she finally saw the response, so let's watch.
Hi, Kate. You have me blocked, but I have seen the video. It's been sent to me. I did not realize you were receiving death threats. That's ridiculous. You guys, it's a dress. It's not that big of a deal, and it's my dress. I'm the only one who's, like, allowed to be mad about it, and, like, that's way too intense and, like, way too far and ridiculous. That said, no need to lie. Let's look up some receipts. Okay, you posted this in a comment saying that it was understood that I would be getting a full refund after I told you that I wanted to end our partnership. Interesting, because here's what you said to me over email. That said, because this is a fully custom garment, blah, 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 we are not able to offer a refund or cancel remaining balance. Payments made toward your work are non-refundable and the final installment remains due. It was never understood that you would be refunding me as the...
There it is. Okay, so Undone Kate was lying, apparently, and making shit up for funsies, and then went, oh God, people are mad at me, I should give a refund. So that's exactly why I like to wait for receipts and information. I still don't think Alexander's wrong here, because how the hell do you go from, oh, like, no, we're not gonna deal with this, to all of a sudden, oh shit, my bad, we didn't mean for it to happen. You only responded and fixed it when somebody called your shit out, and that's not fair.
Clearly stated in that email, which you sent me that twice, there was very clear that you would not be refunding me. Also, you said that I canceled my last fitting. That's not true. I never made my last fitting because I was unhappy and uncomfortable, and I didn't want to go back because I was really trying to have my wedding dress experience be positive. Lastly, you said that I've been deleting comments that are saying that you gave me a refund. That's not true. That's childish. I would never do that. The only comments that I've deleted are comments that haven't mentioned your brand name, which I have not mentioned and I will not mention. I did not out you. I did not out you, and I will not out you. That was a choice that you made. I don't know how the internet works, honestly. It's crazy. The last thing that I'm going to say is that they did come to me as a recommendation.
She's better than me. I'd be like, and it's Undone by Kate. If anyone doesn't know, that's Undone. I don't even care if you were blocking and deleting people who are like, you got a refund. Some people are being sassy and annoying on purpose, okay? You don't even have to defend that, because clearly, as we can see by the email, that was not the original intention. You don't get to be saved all of a sudden from actual consequences because now suddenly you want to go, oh damn, I need to refund you thousands of dollars. Again, I'm all for redemption, but that doesn't change the fact that you have to learn your lesson. And sometimes the lesson is a little bit difficult, but you got to power through.
So some people do have positive experiences there. That was just not my experience. Had they been kind to me, had they been understanding, had they been interested in making it work, we would not be having this conversation. But that was not the case, and that was not my experience. Other people clearly do have good experiences, just not me. I'm not sure why I was not a priority, but I wasn't. And that's all. Again, I'm the only person who needs to be mad about this. I really appreciate everyone like supporting me and telling me that I'm not crazy, because I did kind of feel like I was insane, so I do appreciate that. But there's no reason for her to be getting death threats. That's like truly way too fucking far. So yeah, I'm over it. And like I said, I wish your team the best. I've said that multiple times and I meant it. I wish your team the best. I hope you flourish. I hope everything's good. I rebuke the negative energy, and I really do wish you the best.
So with that being said, to kind of really wrap this up, couple things here. Contracts need to be necessary, end of story, point blank, period. Of course, we don't want anyone to be getting death threats or anything crazy like that. So that's never okay, regardless of what it is. 3, I don't fathom how somebody can get online and respond in representation of their company and their employees, and then suddenly get aired out once again that they were not exactly being very honest and upfront with how they handled the situation. They weren't going to give a refund originally. So you want to blame her for the fact that, oh, this is going to impact the employees, yet you're literally representing it poorly. That will impact the employees. Like, that's not okay and appropriate. Now, I do want to also say, yeah, there absolutely could be examples of people that love their experience with her. But if we're seeing several stories highlighting the fact that it's not good, not a great experience, people are not happy, those should be discussed. And how you handle bad situations in business is very, very important. It's kind of the same way in a relationship. How somebody handles a bad moment is really, really important. It's not just when everything's going well for them. It's how are you when things aren't going so well. And I think that majority of people who are incredibly kind and understanding are going to get it if somebody makes mistakes along the way. So how you handle these negative aspects in business are going to impact how other people feel about you. And judging by this comment I see here, where apparently she's getting DMs of other people's stories, just like what I've showed you, it's not uncommon that there's been some negatives. And I don't think that's fair. Things like this happen. Don't forget to advocate for yourself. I think she did a really, really good job. And when it comes to Undone by Kate, absolutely, I think that anyone can come back from this. I am always pro redemption arc, end of story. I literally don't care. All right. That is going to have to come from legit levels of accountability and doing better and knowing when to bow out of a project you do not have the artistic capabilities for, or lowering your workload, or making sure that we're not being biased towards, let me make sure that I spend more time, for example, and this is an allegation, more time on a multi-million follower influencer versus, somebody who is an everyday Joe who has like 30 followers on Instagram, and making sure that, when things go south, what is your game plan? What are you to do when somebody's not happy? Actually asking more questions, involving the person more and making them feel heard is going to go a long way. Of course, I would love to see a brand like this do 10 times better, because I did see other designs on there that I thought were really, really good. It's just how this situation was handled was not okay. And I think it's a lesson that's hard, but needs to be learned so that way better can happen in the future. Then, maybe some people will want to actually work with them. That was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out the sponsor and the link in the description below and pin comment. And you know what? Let me know what y'all think. That was great. Have a great week. I love y'all. I'll see you later. Mwah. Bye.